was that?
Fuck it. Welcome to DTR. I can't seem to stop laughing because of you two.
Your favorite podcast. Talk about streaming movies.
Yeah, sure.
My left is
streaming movies. Whatever.
The beautiful, wonderful, mysterious
Oh, where are we going with this?
Leonard Torres.
Yeah,
Your host.
So mysterious. And of course, the lovely and beautiful Trevor Thomas.
As always.
And Celeste.
I live here.
Yay!
Yay!
You live here. That's good. All right. So normally we would just be Celeste and I or Trevor and I, but we've decided, screw that. We're just going to just meet and talk and do normal shit like normal friends do.
Always.
So, no.
Never,
Anyways,
okay.
please. This is more like contractually obligated to be friends with you because of marriage and you because of I don't know why, honestly,
Because
Trevor.
you love me.
Sure.
You can't
Because
live
marriage.
without me.
Oh God.
I am your life source.
All right, let's just move on with this.
There's like a
All right.
battery in Trevor that fuels Leonard.
I'm inside Leonard.
And we're going to move on from that. There we go. So we're bringing back Musical Mondays. Welcome, welcome. And
Musical
Only
Monday.
works if you are a Patreon. So
no, that's true. Otherwise, it's Musical Tuesdays and it's no
It would
alliteration.
be Toony Tuesday.
Toonie Tuesday.
I really
Musical
don't.
Monday to our Patreons and Toonie Tuesday to the
I
rest
apologize
of
to
the
everyone who's listening to this currently. All right. So it seems to be a trend where Musical Mondays end up being about something about P.T. Barnum. Because last time it was The Greatest Showman, which we hadn't even seen at the time. And now this time, it's Barnum.
Barnum.
1986 musical production of Barnum from the London Royal Stage. Yeah.
Full disclosure, this isn't a director review, but it's streaming, and we watch streaming stuff.
Let's be honest. How many people can actually sit down and watch a musical that was a stage production? I feel like that was a special direct to Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it was
So.
released on DVD somewhere.
It was actually released
I'm
on VHS.
gonna need you
if
to-
You read
But it was probably
Gonna
direct to
need
DVD. It wasn't in the movie
no,
theater.
it was
So it's still
direct to VHS.
Okay.
friend.
direct to
We're going old school then.
Direct to VHS.
Direct to VHS on your home entertainment system into your video player. All right, so Barnum. This is the 1986 stage production. This is about P.T. Barnum's life. Basically, there's no way I can sum up this movie because it is a play and
It's a musical.
it's a musicale. Starts with his first sideshow with the oldest woman ever, 160 years old, he claimed.
Yeah,
Who was
supposedly.
George Washington's nanny, supposedly.
Not really. And then at the end, to his death, well, to Charity's death and to his creation of The Greatest Show. It is a fantastic, amazing play, musical, whatever that I think should come back with some changes.
Leonard was so nervous about
Oh
all
my
the
God.
wires for all the stunts.
So this is the 80s. So obviously,
Like, this is not safe.
obviously, there is no way that would get I mean, after Spider-Man the musical, none of this is going to happen. After so many actors nearly died, that's never happening
How
again.
many wires do they have when they do like what do they do in Vegas all the time?
Cirque du Soleil?
Do they use wires there?
No, I don't. Well, I mean, they have their safety precautions in
Yeah,
some of
but-
them, but
They wouldn't need wires
not-
for the musical stage.
They would for this particular reason because unless they get people who are
Trained.
like they are from the circus or from Cirque du Soleil or whatever, then probably not. But most of these are just going to be actors, and that's what was going on. Most of these were just actors that just trained really, really well.
Yeah.
Very spry.
I mean, even that, but I mean, the worst thing I saw was like him walking across the wire.
Ugh.
But that was like 10 feet off the ground. It wasn't even like high up.
Oh yeah, 10 feet off the ground. You're not
It was
going to hurt
worse than
yourself
break
at
an
all.
arm. Break an arm. That's it.
Break an arm, yeah,
You do that
on
riding a
the
bike.
stage.
You
Yeah,
do
that's
that
great.
walking down your
Wonderful.
stairs.
That's fantastic.
Do that picking up Fred.
I'm going to need you to not mention that story right now.
A tumble down our stairs the other morning. When
Oh
he was
no!
leaving for work.
Did you was it like an actual tumble or was it like falling?
Listen,
ass?
we're talking
The way
about
he
Barnum.
describes it was
This is
a
entertainment, same
full-on
thing.
Tumble, like he landed on his chest. Apparently, I was
Oh.
asleep.
Oh.
Leonard has to be to work at 5 a.m. I'm not awake for this.
So that's what the missile warning was of Hawaii.
Yes.
Leonard
Yeah,
fell down the
that
stairs.
was-
it.
It was him hitting
That
the
was the
ground.
shake.
Oh no!
I hate you. Okay. All I want to do is talk about P.T. Barnum right now, guys. That's all I want to do.
Michael Crawford.
And Michael Crawford. Okay, so we definitely need to talk about this. The man who plays Phineas Taylor Barnum is an actor by the name of Michael Crawford, who also, I don't know if he originated the role, but he was definitely one of the main original cast from Phantom of the Opera. He is incredible. Prior to doing Phantom of the Opera, he was in Barnum, and he was also just a television actor. He only had one show that he did. I can't remember the name of it. Okay, well, that's not true. I can remember the name of it. I don't really know how to say it. Okay, let me see if I can find it really quick here.
Blow your own trumpet.
Some mothers do abem.
Where is it at? Oh yeah,
Some mothers
do have 'em. It's do have 'em.
To Abum.
Yeah, so that's it was a variety show of sorts. He played the same kind of
Why
character.
is it from 1973 to 2016?
No, actually, it's 1973 to 1978, and then they had a revival in 2016.
For one episode.
One episode, yeah. Yeah, so he's an incredible actor. He
He's
was
still alive.
he's still
He
alive.
was in Hello Dolly.
He was. That's how a lot of people knew him. Well, that's how Andrew Lloyd Webber knew about his singing ability, was because of that. And he had seen Barnum, and he was like, this guy, he's the Phantom. And everyone else was like, you're insane. This is not the Phantom. And he proved them very, very wrong.
He was in Phantom just recently again.
No, they actually
they just
had
redid
they
did a
had
video.
him there at the Royal Albert Hall to see a live production, but they had the original cast there to, like introduce them, and I think they did like a big number at the end, a round at the end.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so because he's old, he's 75. Just recently, they actually had him on a television show in Britain where he broke down crying because of a standing ovation because he hadn't been in front of a crowd in such a long time, and he didn't even know people had remembered him, so he just started crying.
Like, we love you.
Yeah,
We
so
love
that was cool. I thought that was cool. All right, so the production itself, you start off with this incredible number about humbug, and it's hilarious right off the bat because you have his wife fighting him the entire time about humbug.
That was a great wife.
Oh my
Let me
god.
tell you.
She could have been a great baker's wife, that actress, if she ever did Into the Woods. She
Right.
looked,
Oh,
she looked
yeah,
very
yeah.
baker's wife.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. She was played by Elaine Batty. But the one we need to point out is Michael Heath, who is the ringmaster, also Bailey.
He was an okay singer.
He was an okay singer, but more importantly, he had the most fabulous leotards.
Oh, yeah.
They were great.
The most fabulous leotards.
His
and he-
junk was on display.
all over the place. And his amazing mustache.
Oh, that was a good mustache.
I loved his
That was a
mustache
great
and his top hat.
mustache.
It was fantastic.
So-
So I don't really know how to talk about this, how to break it down, other than to start talking about our favorite parts and then just move from there.
And I think that's kind of a point in itself that it was a little disjointing to me.
It was. It
Because
had many
the-
problems.
Had to cover so much story, so much like happened in his life that it was like jumping, gotta keep going. I mean, the great number, the costumes are great, the numbers are great. The story was a little, I was having a hard time with it.
I felt the same way. The story was lacking in a lot of areas. Now, I thought it was a great production. What I thought the problem was is that they didn't focus enough on a particular part of his life. They tried to cover all of it, which he was old by the time he actually died. When I say old, he could have been a sideshow by the end because he had done so many things. He had so many different facets of his life that being able to go over all of it is pretty much an impossible task. It's kind of what The Greatest Showman corrected. Now, I know you haven't seen Trevor, but they...
condensed
Yeah.
everything. Like when you watch the production, you realize how spread out everything was
Right.
that happened because they did have some elements in The Greatest Showman.
Right.
So it was like, oh
And-
wow, this was a long time.
And also, The Greatest Showman focused mainly on The Greatest Show, his actual show. It went into his back story a little bit of his life, but honestly, it was more about the show and his interaction with his, side shows and all of that.
And his kind of affair. Emotional affair.
Here's the
when
thing.
you have emotions like that, it's
The
considered
Greatest
cheating.
Showman did very much play that down.
Yeah, they did.
Because they don't really go into the affair, which he does have an affair. But that's where Barnum takes that one and runs with it.
Oh my god, yeah, the scene.
where they're all on the high wires,
Yeah.
the trapeze, and they're kind of like doing it. Not doing it, but they're like two separate things, but they're like spinning. And it's like, oh, that's
They got
sex.
the horizontal mambo going on.
That's going on right there.
He was gone for 6 months with her.
Ooh,
Yeah.
when he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get receipts," and she was like, "Good night," and she like calls her out. It's like, "Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, she knew. Charity knew.
Charity, I don't know how she put up with it.
Honestly.
she loved the man."
Why?
Like, screw you, bro. I'm out.
But you know what? It actually, when we watched Barnum versus when we watched Greatest Showman, it made me want to do a little bit more digging on Barnum. So I did. Because in Barnum, they actually have a part where it's about his politics.
Yeah,
And I had never really looked it up.
Yeah.
he was a mayor.
Right?
So, yeah, he was a mayor and he ran for Senate and all that.
So his wife passed away as he was running for Senate.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, right before. And that's the thing. Like, I decided to take a look. Turns out, so obviously his life started with minstrel shows. That's what he started doing. But to spite some people, he would actually have his people read, I think they were like reading speeches and pointing out the problem with white people, which I thought was really cool and interesting because he doesn't, this is something that you don't do. But
In
the
the 1800s.
yeah, at that point, it's like, wow, that's kind of gutsy. People kill you for less in that time. So that's interesting. I find that very interesting. I mean, obviously, he still exploited black people and he still had some very
He
Questionable-
exploited
questionable
all the
things.
people.
He exploited everybody. He was equally exploiting everybody. But later on in his shows, specifically at the American Museum, is when he created a play that ended with slaves being freed. And it was the first play to actually do that.
Visionary.
He was also obviously for women's vote, which we see in
Couple
Barnum, because Charity was very much into the movement,
Suffrage movement.
the women's suffrage movement. And then he was also, he refused to be a Democrat because at the time Democrats are the Republicans of now. So he switched to being a Republican so that he could have the backing that he wanted, which was, higher taxation so that people could actually have money. He believed that all people, and apparently on the Senate floor, I believe he did become a senator, he said that all souls are created equal regardless of who they're in, whether they're a Chinaman, an Arab, I'm quoting now, a Chinaman, an Arab, and another word I'm not going to use, but it doesn't matter because they're all important. Which is like, what the hell? This is a man that, they have a song in there called "There's a Sucker Born Every Minute," and that's basically his philosophy, that he could take anybody for anything, and yet he's fighting for equal rights.
Yeah, that's
You can take anyone for anything
Equally.
More money.
And then on top of that, he actually fought, I believe he fought for contraception.
Interesting.
So that would be
Right.
part of like the women's rights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like
Yeah.
weird
It's
things
also
that he was willing to
with
do. Yeah.
PFS.
But I feel like that's the best part about the whole musical is that it makes you want to know a little bit more because Michael Crawford plays him in such a kind way. You can tell he's a shyster and a liar, but it's more like funny, light,
Kind of
soft.
like how Aladdin was also a thief.
Right.
He's the good guy, but
Aladdin was not a good
criminal.
guy.
But yeah, to get basically. So okay, give me some. What are your favorite? What are your favorite parts? Give me some stuff here, guys.
they were hard to come by. Favorite moments for me. I
Oh,
buried
you
through-
didn't
Was
like it.
too 80s licious
I
for
think
you?
the final, after his wife passed away, that's when I really felt like there was the whole musical was just, the whole time just going fun and da da da, and then finally we got some emotion on the stage, and I felt like there was some real acting going on, not just showman type stuff. So
Right.
I really enjoyed that monologue, and then he slips right into his double song because he calls himself the Prince of Humbug, which is essentially the Prince of Lies.
Right.
Calling himself the devil.
Well, I mean, no, but
Yes.
okay. I think you're going more religious in a tone that needs to be, but okay.
That was the 1800s, Leopard.
Not when this musical came out. This is like
was the
Cats,
80s.
okay?
My God.
Jellicle Cats didn't mean
Didn't say
anything.
how his wife actually died, did she? She just.
I'm sure you could do a quick
She
Google.
was dizzy. She died of dizziness.
Oh,
She died being dizzy.
Oh, she got a case of the disease.
She had a case of the
Okay, so
disease.
disease.
I mean, we
Probably
don't know
like-
how old they were at that time either, so
Probably gave her syphilis.
Let's
a little
just
bit.
Yeah.
talk about
Nightingale syphilis.
right how
Bird flu.
How cat-like this thing was. Like, was this just the 80s where you came from the audience and
Right,
did
yeah.
stuff?
The
like
interaction thing, that was weird.
the unitards. Like, I know it was the 80s.
Yeah,
But
1980s, but set in the 1880s, right? No, it's
But it was-
1855.
1855.
But
Yeah.
it was still the 80s when it was, produced and stuff, and so it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, there was a
Even
lot of
some
that.
the, like, music, I'm like, mm-hmm.
It was very 80s-licious. I really think that when it comes to, if they ever want to bring it back, which I pray they do, they will restructure it a little bit and restructure the music because I feel like you can do more.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I-
actually, nowadays, how musicals are nowadays, you can do a lot more.
yeah.
We've grown so much.
And all right, so obviously we all have problems with it. Trevor, the most.
Not a fan of the devil.
Hashtag.
Hashtag not a fan of the devil.
Not a fan of the
Hashtag Trevor not devil fan. Anyways, so Trevor, give me some of the. As an actor, you are a stage actor, so you have a little bit more of an insight on this. So definitely give me like what you would want different. What would you see in this? You're going to be playing P.T. Barnum. You're coming up and you're going to be doing Phineas, and they give you the script, and the first thing you look
acrobats
at
and
it.
all.
Oh, yeah.
Acrobats and all. Let's say you are like
Died on first day of rehearsals.
let's say you are ripped, you're like ready for the part, and they are ready to get going on the first day of like read throughs. What is the problem here? Where would you find the problem and make notes to the director to make changes?
I think he needed a little more range from the whole beginning because he was going 100%, 100 miles an hour the whole time.
Right.
He's human, so I think he needed that aspect of like
I
his
think
showed a
he
little more of the
was an
struggle.
alien.
He didn't show any of the struggle. Obviously, there was struggle. I mean, the fire how the burnt down, but then that was fixed within like 5 seconds. And she's like, "We're going. You going on the road?" He's like, "I'm going on the road." Okay, and I think he could have had a little.
So
more
there
of
was
that.
too much in a short period of time is what you're saying. Like there
I
was so
think
much
that's-
speed to
I
it.
think that was a matter of the story though, because he
Right.
never saw those moments in between of him,
Right.
like at his highest moments, at his
At his
lowest,
lowest,
moments.
at
There was
everything.
nothing of that in between.
So maybe in this, it was actually too much of the showman and less of the man that needed to be there.
Yeah, because this wasn't The Greatest Showman. This was Barnum,
Right.
and he had obviously he had other issues. He had stuff
So
that
the-
wasn't presented in here.
So
And I think
when
that
you
would maybe-
saw like the interaction between him and Charity, did you feel like that wasn't human enough? Like their whole interaction, maybe even,
I feel like
there
he
was
might
one.
have killed her with like that in the back of her mind, eating away at her.
Right. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
the way he lived was so on the edge
Mm-hmm.
that
Maybe a little more guilt when she died.
yeah.
That would have been nice.
But in particular, one interaction that I can think of when they are in the house and just before he finds out that the museum burns down, he tries to give her pearls, and they kind of have like a back and forth, and then they do this big musical number together. Do you think that in that particular one where they're just talking about how they're two opposite people, what works for one doesn't work for the other? This whole music is going like they're just talking about how much opposite that they are, but they both like each other's style, so it's why they're together. It's why they're in love with each other. And how fighting means it's okay. Everything's going to be fine because that means they're talking.
Yeah, that they're quarreling again. That means because when they
Right.
quarrel, it
Which
shows
it comes
they
back
care.
a few times.
Yeah, that
saying
comes back.
everything's going to be fine, Phineas. We're quarreling again.
Yeah, and I think that's what they were going for. It had he had the love for the exhibition shows and the love for his wife, and there were these two conflicting paths.
Right.
And I think
So do you think a scene like that, it just didn't work because maybe the music was too upbeat, there was just too much going on in it.
Yeah, I mean, even they had a few slower songs. I mean, I think the best song was that at the end when she passed away, and I think that had the most emotion of, showing
Just like death.
their relationship, there, like how much they truly cared about each other. But I mean, she was a strong woman, but she still gave in so easily to him.
Well, and you know what? That's something that constantly shows up, even in The Greatest Showman, where she's like, listen, I'm with you 100%. Whatever happens. I'm going to be there for you. And she doesn't say no to anything. Yeah. In fact, in one particular part of that movie, The Greatest Showman, she gets angry because, he financed something, Jenny Lynn's whole concert, whole tour, and put up the house as collateral. She was like, the bank is going to take it away. I would have been okay with that had you just talked to me, but you didn't. Yeah. Like, she wouldn't ever say no to him. So
they just want to be in the loop.
Right. And with Barnum, you kind of see that. I honestly didn't see them ever have any discussion about anything. Yeah. You just come in and say, I'm building a museum. It's going to cost $15,000. And she's like, we only have $2 to our name. That was like a disconnect for me. I'm like,
how did they do it?
Yeah. Listen, when I have $2, I can't spend $15,000. I don't care how many credit cards I can try to get. I don't think I could do it. So how did this get to this point? And why did you hire clowns to get? Anyways, that's something else.
to build that.
To build it.
Clowns are the greatest builders.
And then that's the other thing. Is like Charity came out and built it. It's like,
right.
Wait a minute. What? I'm sure that was symbolism, but what? All right, Celeste. Problems with this. Oh, did I hit you? I'm sorry.
You hit it.
And did you ever say your favorite part? I don't think Celeste ever said
I don't think you ever said your favorite part.
So you just get to talk now. Spotlight's on you.
Go.
Oh, too much pressure. Okay, favorite part.
She's going to get there.
I'm going to get there one day. Maybe not today. I have to take a spiritual journey first.
Well, okay. If you can't think of your favorite part, that might mean because everything was pretty much even keel, right? Yeah. You feel like it was probably so much going on that it was even keel.
It was a lot of sensory overload.
Right. There was a lot going on.
All the time. I did love the scenes where Charity and Barnum would fight and the ringmaster would come out and they would present it as if he was fighting the lion.
Yes.
That was his
That was great. You know what? And I loved that those connections would happen, you know, with the circus.
This was the circus.
But, okay, obviously those are cool, but what were the bad? I mean, right after...
I mean, it was very 80s luscious. I don't know if I can look at this like...
Like with concrete
yeah, because I didn't
words
live in the 80s. I don't have
There's no connection to it.
Yeah. I was like, this is kind of dated.
Right. Okay, I get you there. I know the first thing you had actually mentioned when we were watching, I was like, wow, that's super 80s makeup and hair. And that's so true. I mean, it was very like baby doll makeup where it was very bright and very white.
It was very 80s.
That was the other part. Okay, I just want to bring this up. Greatest Showman totally took diversity and ran with it. This one didn't go so on the diverse side. They had one African American, and then after that, it was like all super white, like British white.
50 Shades of White.
I mean, that was a white cast. That was a very white cast, which I have no problem with, except for the fact that he mentions all of his sideshows, but you never see them.
Yeah.
Which disappointed me.
I wanted to see a couple sideshows. That's.
It was mainly.
I did like the scene where he brought out Tom Thumb.
Oh yeah.
That was a good imagination of it.
Tom Thumb was supposed to be 25 inches tall.
Which he was actually only 2 feet 36 inches tall.
So.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he was 2 feet 36 inches tall.
That's not a measurement.
No, 2 feet some odd inches tall.
2
feet.
2 feet.
2 feet 6 inches tall. Oh my God.
2 feet 36 inches.
Everyone, shut up.
That's
5 feet.
he was 5 feet tall.
I am 2 feet 47 inches
hold
tall.
on. Let me give you the actual one. When he died, it was 3 feet 25 inches. Why is that so
Why?
wrong?
Maybe
It's right there.
25 mil. Okay.
No, 25 inches. I'm right. Oh my god.
No, you're saying 2 feet 36 inches.
30 feet.
2 feet.
25.
They said he was 25 inches tall, Leonard.
That is 2
Hold
feet.
on.
2 foot 1 inch.
Oh my
25
God.
inches is 2 feet 1 inch.
Listen, I'm reading it now. Now I'm reading it.
2 feet.
Now I'm reading
you know
it.
what they're saying? They're saying 2 feet
Okay.
slash,
Hold on.
which is also the same as,
Hold on.
or equal to,
Hold on.
25 inches.
So this is what happened.
Leonard was born, and then
No.
he didn't pay attention to school, and then 25 years later, he said 2 feet 25 inches.
Leonard's
Oh,
so sweet of
that's
you.
so sweet of you. Anyways,
I'm saying he was born when he was 3.
no. So apparently, at the top of Wiki, it's entirely wrong because they had a person like that, just like me. But he was 2 feet 5 inches, 74 centimeters, and then by the time he got married, which was a big sideshow, he was.
Did he marry the 8-foot tall woman? And had normal sized babies?
He was about 3 feet tall by that
So
point.
he was 36 inches by the time he got married.
Yes.
He wasn't 3 feet. He wasn't 3 feet 36 inches,
I'm
Leonard.
about to punch you, boy.
Let's just do that real quick.
I don't want to. I'm afraid.
It's 36.
Okay, good.
And now we know why Leonard's in news and not math.
Exactly. I say that every day.
What all of them say. They're like, I didn't get into this from
He doesn't
Okay,
do the
anyways.
math.
Anyway, it was a great imagining of that. They had, a normal sized man, but they made everything super big so that he seemed
Yeah.
super small. They had all the other actors on stilts.
The big chair.
I honestly, it kind of felt like a moment out of the Nutcracker, though.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Because she, goes down to the size of a toy, and then they have the big chairs. Anyways, yeah.
But that was cool.
That was cool.
That little kid was creepy though when they him like talking to the little kid that you wouldn't.
Right?
I was like,
Thumbs
that's
up.
scary.
I was like,
I don't
That's
want-
his name, Tom Thumb, which I'm a little confused about because the movie, there was already a book called Tom Thumb, and then the other one, it was that he put his thumb up. And I'm like, the thumb up thing sounds like a P.T. Barnum story, which is like, I talked to him and he said yes, and he put his thumb up, and that's how I came up with the name Tom Thumb. But the other one sounds like more of the reality of it. I was talking to my kids, and I saw their book, and I'm like, oh.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
It was an okay name.
Okay, so Tom Thumb, you like Tom Thumb.
I like Tom Thumb. I liked all the arguments with his wife.
And
I
all the
like how
arguments
he's
with his
like,
wife.
I'll be there in 15 minutes. If
30 on the
If
outside.
I'm not back by 6.
Come back and, go and see me at the museum.
And that was 6 hours from the point that he left. So.
It's fantastic.
Him discovering the two-sided coin was a really good scene.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
yes.
Hilarious.
Yes.
That was really funny.
Two sides.
Every time he looked at the
Just
camera was a good
see.
moment too, because he would break that fourth wall, and just like look right at the
Yes,
camera.
and when they had the mess up with the hat,
Yeah.
he was supposed to set fire to some I don't remember what that filament paper,
Uh-huh.
and he was supposed to sing a part where it's like the dazzling flame, and he does it, and his hand just goes up.
What's that,
And he
mess
just
up,
goes,
or was
yeah,
That's awesome that they
Yeah.
kept that in the movie, and because that's what when
Right.
people go to theater they expect that, and with how the actors deal with it.
And that's why when he
always
was
great.
singing, he was like, "I'm gonna do it, I promise." And then that's when he does it. It
And the
blows
fact that
up,
they,
and he's
like,
runs.
I think the nature of the show warrants breaking character like that, and they were fine.
Yeah.
and it was fine. It was acceptable.
To
and I
me,
thought it
that's
was a
what-
great moment.
That's what I love about Michael Crawford as Phineas Taylor is that he didn't take it so seriously that when things would happen, like another part of the musical, I still don't know if it was meant to happen or not, but he got caught on the swing, and he kind of crushed his members.
Oh yeah, and his
And he was just off to the side, kind of in pain. But the way the actress playing Charity was, she looked like she was actually concerned. That was not supposed to happen because she was trying to go for him, and he was coming back, and they just started singing in a high register.
yeah, that was really good.
And she just started laughing. So I'm like, okay, that probably wasn't supposed to happen. Because he also looked like he got kind of stuck when he moved forward and it went up. That was that's what I loved about going to live productions in general. When you go to a musical or something goes wrong, you have a good actor on stage.
Oh, yeah.
They know how to handle it. They're not just going to be pissy about it and try to.
Oh man.
Yeah,
We can't cut. This is live.
exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, so for me, I had a couple of gripes,
Uh oh.
and the gripes are mainly dealing with, like yours, pacing and general flow of just the story gets confusing so quickly. We start off, and it's supposed to be his first sideshow, and it very quickly confuses me because I'm like, okay, his first sideshow happens, and then all of a sudden we're at the museum. And I'm like, wait a minute. Sideshow, he was supposed to have a bunch of failures, and then museum at some point.
No, Leonard. Success.
That was the problem that I kind of had with it, is that it really highlighted his successes, one tiny failure, and that was basically it. And some bad choices, not all of them.
Yeah.
I felt like the pacing was off there, and almost like right off the bat, which to me is never good. When you are just starting in that first opening number and you move into your first big act, it shouldn't make you go, oh, that was jarring, because that's exactly how I felt. I'm like, wow, that was really quick. We're going really fast here. And I have no clue.
Yeah, it was literally years.
And I don't know where we are. Like, what part of his life are we in? Are we doing this chronologically? Are we doing this just by highlights? What's happening?
It's kind of like a highlight show.
Yeah,
but then it would slow down randomly.
Right.
It would slow down randomly to like a specific moment of his life.
I get slowing down with the museum and then but they went from museum and it was like, oh, we're going to take it on the road. You don't have capital yet. You don't have anything yet. Like, what? You went from my museum is completely to the ground. Somehow you're going to go and meet with Tom Thumb's parents, who were your fifth cousins, by the way.
Really?
Yes, they were his fifth cousins. He was the fifth cousins twice removed.
That'd be like 10th cousins.
So
basically.
They had like a great.
They had a very small connection, but that's how he ended up meeting the parents and then finding Tom. Whose real name is Charlie. And that's the thing. Like, we went into this and then we kind of like jumped all over. We met Tom Thumb, and then from there, where did we even go? Like, then it was like Jenny Lind. Yeah. And then we were with Jenny, and then we weren't with Jenny, and then he was part of the Bridgeport Clock Guild or whatever.
That was an interesting number.
I feel like moved really fast, and I was like, where are we going? What are we doing?
Like,
I thought that scene, the black and the white song where like he was working for the clockwork, I thought that was one of the most interesting numbers.
But see, that's
like
the thing.
A change of pace from like all the circus.
The scenes individually were beautifully done, well choreographed. I liked them, but when you put them together, the story didn't hold.
You know what would have been really cool? Like if they did like some sort of like in between scene changes, like some sort of radio announcer of like, this is stuff, and moved on. It's like, and what will happen? What will he do next? You know, like if they would have like bridged.
1800s.
Did they have radio back then?
They did not.
Okay, well they had a male guy come out with some sort of like connector.
No, okay.
It actually turns into Newsies,
and like some sort of like bridge to jump from that part of the story to the next part of the story.
So they tried to do that. I mean, we saw that they were trying to use like the acrobats and the ringmaster, but the problem is that they didn't give the ringmaster the right info. In my opinion, instead they set it up like it was, and in this tent. Well, that's fun and all, but I don't know what's happening. Like, this is just another sideshow. I totally understand. You're trying to make his life look like another sideshow, but I need more. I want to know more here. Yeah. I want to know where we're going, why we're there, what year is it, what part of his life was it? Why should I even care? Like, why? Give me more. What they did give me, I liked. But what they didn't left me really wanting to know more, which is why I know so much now, because I was like, what part of his life was this? And I'm Googling because it was...
want to do after you finish watching, some film.
Although this
exactly.
is over 30 years old now, so
yes, it is.
Yeah. The standard was...
It was just different, maybe.
They were like, this is a great show, but it didn't last past the 80s.
No.
So maybe it was just like...
But there's content that did last past the 80s. I mean,
like,
that's not an excuse. Oh, it was made in the 80s.
But this is one thing that was like made in the 80s for the 80s. With
yeah,
no, like,
100%.
So you're saying some movies are made for the 80s and not meant for the 80s?
Some movies are made for the 80s, and they stay in the 80s. Other movies are made in the 80s, but they're made for forever.
All right.
That's true. All right, so that's Barnum. So how are we going to rate this?
Stream it on Amazon Prime.
Correct. You can
Amazon
stream it if you have
Prime,
if you have Prime. It's for free. Amazon Prime. Just type in Barnum. It's very difficult to miss.
There's a clown.
It's very good. It's an hour and 54 minutes. You're gonna have problems with following the story.
Like I would have loved this as a child.
Yes, absolutely.
Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like
Absolutely.
if I would have watched this when I was 5, I'd be like, I love Barnum.
I am going to give this 3 Goldblums. And the reason I'm giving it 3 is you have to remember 1 Goldblum is 5 stars. So this is already quite high. It's just not enough for me to give it more.
But that's still like a lot.
It's still a lot. It's still a lot. It's still a good job.
When was the last
No,
Barnum
sorry.
Bailey show? Just recently, right?
It ended in 2016.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
recent. I would say if you have Amazon Prime, don't go get Amazon Prime to watch this.
No.
Get
Watch it
Amazon
if you.
Prime
I mean, if
for
you've seen this, if you went to a show, Barnum Bailey, it's interesting. You learn a little bit more about Barnum. If you like musicals, give it a watch. It's still some good songs. I mean, I got a little sentimental with him and his wife. I was like, oh, I love my wife.
She's
kind of
okay.
thing.
Trevor loves his wife, and
Yeah.
that's what matters.
I love life. Can't complain. So I would say give it a watch. I wouldn't be like, you gotta watch this. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, it's pretty good.
It's a watch.
Watch-
If you have
I
small children,
I haven't even
think
seen
they'll
Greatest
like it.
Showman yet, but I'd still say probably go watch that instead of this.
Yes.
If you had
Oh,
choice
yeah.
between
For
the
the
two.
love of God, please.
Yeah, go see that. It's good.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 bearded women out of 5 elephants.
All right.
I was very disappointed by the lack of bearded ladies.
Yes.
No bearded ladies.
They mentioned her, and that was about it.
Yeah. I
Madam
wanted one.
Josepha.
I was like, I kept
10-inch
looking
beard.
at the ladies, and I'm like, which one's gonna come out in a beard? None did.
There's a couple on there that could have done it. All right, what's your rating?
I'm gonna give this 3 elephants out of 2 canyons.
Canyons.
Canyons, you know.
Canyons.
The great ones, the grand ones.
3 elephants shooting out of 2 cannons over a canyon.
There we
There
go.
it is.
It is a spectacle.
All right, I have a surprise for my 2 cohorts today.
Uh-oh.
A surprise.
Something I have been working on, something I've been looking for. I thought I'd do a little movie trivia with you guys.
Oh, no.
Disney dead body.
Oh, Lord. So,
Not that?
no, not that.
Well, then I'm not
so
here for it.
I have some very easy, this is going to be easy,
I'm not good at
Leonard's
watching
saying
movies.
easy.
movie trivia questions.
I cannot do it.
So you hopefully will be able to handle it.
I'm
You'll be able to
failing
do it.
already.
So here we go. This is the first ever movie
Gelato.
trivia segment.
Give it a theme song, so let's go.
Da-da-da.
DTR Trivia!
All right, all right. All right, let's see how much they know about
Nothing.
current movies.
I
We're not
Currently.
going old.
I know
There's going to be
nothing.
Disney in here.
Disney, okay, that's
There are
you.
Disney
Disgusting.
movies. All
That's
right.
you.
So here we go. BB-8 is an oh my God! I'm right off the bat. I am not being able to read. BB-8 is an astromech droid from what film?
Celeste, Bing, what is...
I mean, it was Star Wars. Was it The Force Awakens? No,
Force-
that was the
You
last one.
no. You
Yes,
got it
you're
right.
right, you're good.
It's
Don't
very
question
simple.
yourself.
It's very simple.
Don't
Just
overthink
Star
it.
Wars.
You got it.
Just
Star
the
Wars.
universe in general, not to be
Oh,
specific.
okay.
All right, here we go.
Woo.
In the movie The Wizard of Oz, what did the Scarecrow want from the wizard?
Ooh, you want me to get this one?
Yeah, go for it.
He only had a brain.
Correct. In what year was the original Jurassic Park film released? A little harder.
I'm going to take a guess on this one, but you
Go
have an
for it. I
idea?
have no clue.
96.
Oh, 3 years off. It was 1993.
Oh, I didn't know. I was only 1 when that movie came out. Wow.
I probably wasn't even born. Maybe I was born.
I was born in
Somewhere in that year.
92. I
remember
thought I was.
seeing that movie.
I think the first time I saw it was like 1996, or at least remember seeing it was
Right?
1996.
You're like, that's why I think.
That's when it came out.
Nothing existed before my memory. Okay?
All right.
I'm that egotistical.
What is the name of the dog from Wizard of Oz?
Toto.
Todo, but
Toto? Is it Toto or Toto?
Toto. T-O-T-O.
whoa!
Toto.
I need to go jump off a building.
Who does the voiceover for Dory from Finding Nemo and Finding Ellen DeGeneres? All right, let's do a couple more here because you guys did that way too easily. I feel like I need to up it.
I got one wrong. What are you talking about? I got two wrong. I said Toto.
All right,
Toto.
which actress played Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games?
Oh, what's her name? I know her name.
Jennifer Lawrence.
There it is,
Correct.
Jennifer Lawrence.
All right. The title role of the 1900s movie Pretty Woman was played by which actress?
Julia Roberts.
Correct.
That's a good one.
What fictional city is the home of Batman?
Gotham City.
There.
So don't ask me names of actresses and actors. I
What
can't do that.
fictional planet is the superhero Superman from?
Krypton.
Good.
Not the planet of...
Super people.
What do we keep hearing in Futurama? Persei
Persei 8. Omicron Persei 8.
8. Persei 8.
What famous actor is known for the saying, "I'll be back"?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.
That is
Lord
correct.
Governor.
All right, we moved up to medium. I
Let's
have
do
some
it.
medium
Let's get some medium
questions.
questions.
Because the easy ones, you're getting it too easy now. All right, so these are going to range between modern and slightly older. Not
Uh-oh.
super old.
Uh-oh.
But I'm only slightly older.
Infamous English prisoner Charles Bronson was played by which actor in the 2008 film Bronson?
Can we phone a friend?
Do I have a lifeline?
Can we ask the audience?
You cannot. I'm sorry.
Movie
Just take a guess.
Wait,
Bronson.
what?
Now I realize
Bronson?
that
Tell me
I'm
who
like the
Bronson was.
only one that may have seen that now, so
Okay.
I feel like I shouldn't have chosen that
Okay,
one.
what's the movie about?
It's about a pretty famous prisoner in Britain, and that's why I'm thinking I probably shouldn't even bother with
It
this one.
was played by Sir Michael Caine.
Correct. No, Tom Hardy.
See, Tom Hardy to me is the guy that plays Bane.
Right?
That's Tom Hardy. I don't know an older
What
Tom
was
Hardy.
the name of the whale in the 1993 movie Free Willy?
Was it Willie, perhaps?
No, the name of the
No.
whale.
Oh, the type of whale?
No, the actual whale. Because remember, all the
Killer
whales
whale.
have the name. They actually name them because, there was a specific whale that. What was the name of the whale?
Willie.
What was the real name of the
He's
whale?
freeing Willie.
Not the
His name is
genus.
Willie.
Taboo?
That's the genome, the genus, Willie. Like, they're like
Whale?
he's a Willie whale,
You said killer whale.
killer Willie whale.
Orca?
Kiko.
What the? No,
I know that. You know what? The last time I
Leonard,
saw
you did not know that.
Willie,
I did. Because they
was
talked about Kiko all the time because Kiko was so upset, the curved
God.
Fin.
and people would talk about how cruel it was to make Free Willy.
Oh my god.
No?
You know
Really?
the last time I watched
Oh.
Free Willy was 1995.
Oh, the
and
actor
my
whale that played
grandmother-
Willie.
The actor whale,
That's
yes.
that's okay. You made it sound like what was the name of the character of what was the whale's
it was
name in the
Willie.
movie?
What was the
His-
name of the whale in the 1993 movie Free Willy?
Willie. Okay, you did not.
You know what?
should've
Never
said,
mind.
What was the
Never
name
mind.
of the animal?
You should have said, what was the,
The name-
whale that played Willie?
Yeah, you should have
You
said.
guys
what was
would
the
have
name of the
said killer whale.
We would've
Let's
said-
be honest
no, we
here.
would've
No one
said-
would have
we would've
guessed it.
said we have no idea.
Because we're too young.
Seriously. All right. This one is for the Hogwarts fans out there
I've never
Or
seen it.
why would you say Hogwarts
Okay.
fans and not Harry Potter fans?
Okay.
because Hogwarts is the
I've
best.
seen the first one.
So
I've
you don't
seen-
have to like Harry. You just have to like
I've
Hogwarts.
seen
Yes, actually,
half
for
of
this
the
question.
second one. I've seen the seventh one. I'm very out of order on this.
Oh, Lord. All right. What are the 4 houses at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft
Oh my
and
gosh.
Wizardry?
Let's see the Celeste.
Gryffindor.
Uh-huh.
5 points for
Get there.
Gryffindor.
Slytherin.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
One left.
Oh,
Oh,
caca,
God.
caca,
Oh God. I don't know. You say it, Trevor.
It's a Ravenclaw.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to
Good
give you a hint.
job.
But I've never seen them. Well, 2.5 of them. So I think
Alright.
it was pretty good.
That was pretty good. That was.
What was the name of the monkey in the Disney movie Aladdin?
Abu.
Abu.
Correct. What popular movie musical directed by John Hudson?
That means nothing to me.
John Hudson was released in 1982.
What the heck?
That means nothing to me.
You said-
Damn it!
you said
1982 musical. Give us a hint about the musical.
it was-
What
was
was
it Eliza
red hair.
Production?
Oh,
Think-
Annie.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well done. I don't think I have any more medium questions because I figured you guys wouldn't get the medium ones.
You were right.
Who plays Fat Amy in the movie Pitch Perfect?
I don't know. Amy
Rebel
Schumer.
Wilson.
Correct.
Also Fat Patricia.
Who was the first woman monster to appear in a movie?
Woman monster? Was the White Bride of Frankenstein?
Yes, correct. Oh my God.
Wow.
I mean, good job.
Good job.
In The Lion King.
That's the only woman monster I know, by the way.
Right?
Never mind. I won't do that one.
No one came to mind.
All right. Which is Angelina Jolie's first and least discussed film?
Gia.
No.
No.
G.I. Jane. Was that her?
Cyborg 2.
Oh, she was in Cyborg
She
2.
was in Cyborg 2.
I don't know what Cyborg is. I didn't know there was a Cyborg 1.
There was a Cyborg 1, yes.
You said Cyborg 2. I was thinking of Cyber. What was that called? RoboCop.
In what movie, if you watch a certain video, you'll die in 7 days?
Oh,
The Ring.
there you go.
Correct. Which character killed people in their dreams?
What?
Freddy Cougar.
Correct.
Bitch.
It's been a long time since I've seen that.
I'm gonna get you, bitch.
That's not Freddy Krueger.
The much better one.
All right, this is for the Lord of the Rings fans out there. In the Lord of the Rings, what's the name of the elf that takes part in the Fellowship of the Rings?
The name of the who?
The elf.
Go for
Orlando
it, Trevor.
Bloom.
That is
No, he-
almost correct.
Legolas.
Legolas. Yes, well done, well done.
He was very pretty.
All right, we're going to do 3 more, and then
All
we're
right,
going to
3
wrap
more.
her up. In the movie title, Elvis Presley said Viva to where?
Las Vegas.
Correct.
Viva Viva.
Viva Las Vegas. All right. All right. In the Superman movies, what newspaper does Clark Kent work for?
Oh God.
Oh, I know this. The Globe. Oh, it's something with the Globe.
The Globe. Well, I mean, yes, but not yes.
Metropolis.
Oh, well, that's a city.
I know. I'm just thinking but Fresno B. Metropolis. No. 5. I'm getting 5 seconds. Hold on. Oh man.
5, 4, 3,
The Globetrotters.
2, 1, zero.
Metropolis
The
Globe.
Daily Planet.
Oh, Daily Planet. Damn it.
No one else would know that, Leonard. We're not nerds.
Everyone
I should
knows
know
that.
that. I should.
That
know
one's an
that.
easy one.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm disappointed in myself.
who was the male lead in the 1996 summer blockbuster Independence Day?
What?
Jeff Goldblum. He
I
was
mean,
the
he was
true
in
lead.
it, but
He was
never
my
saw
favorite part, Will
Independence
Smith.
Day.
correct. Will Smith, who was also recently in
Bright?
Bright, which you can go and listen to our
In the Bright
podcast
Direction.
on that. And the last one.
I thought that was the
No,
last
'cause
one.
We
No,
got
this
one
is
wrong.
you got one wrong. What big-headed supervillain, voiced by Will Ferrell, finds life empty without a hero to fight?
You know this?
Megamon.
Correct.
Megamind.
Ding, ding, ding. Good job.
That was the first edition of DTR Trivia.
Well, that was fun.
That was. We only
That
got
was
like 4
very
wrong.
Stressful.
Yeah, I got rid of all the hard ones as we were talking because I thought that wouldn't be fair.
Because we're babies. Because Trevor
So
and I
why
are
don't we
babies.
say one hard one, and if we won't say the answer, and we'll see if anyone
Yeah.
comments at us on Twitter,
I deleted
Facebook.
them, but hold on. I think I have one committed to memory.
Uh-oh.
Hold
Lenny's
on.
just gonna make up a question.
Yes,
right
I'm going to
now.
make up a question right now. Let's see.
What is Leonard's favorite flavor of cherry?
It's a tricky one.
I hate cherries, so that's a...
Haha! Trick question.
All right. Let's see. Oh, hold on. I need just one bit of information, and then I can do this.
Oh my gosh! So Celeste, how is your January going?
You know, it has already. I feel like I've lived so many years in these like 2 weeks.
These 2 weeks of this first 2 weeks of the year.
It's just been really like at work. It's just like little problem after little problem, and I'm like, if everything could just calm down for a second, that would be great. What about yours, Trevor? You're gonna be a dad.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to
Again,
little guy.
he's currently a dad.
Yeah.
I know, but like to a baby.
to another baby. I know. Can't wait.
Okay.
Excited.
Think about how the structure. Continue the banter.
I'm on top of the world.
Okay.
Top of the world.
Top of the world.
Be prepared for lots of pictures and it's here.
Oh yes.
Seriously though, this one is. I
So
feel
hard.
bad.
All right, let's hear it.
Honestly. All right. From 1934 to 1947, this actor played the leading role in the Thin Man series.
What? Now you're just making stuff up.
I actually should know this because he talks about it so often, but I have no clue because I just don't listen anymore.
All right. Well, I guess you'll have to
What were the
tune
years again?
in 1934 to 1947.
All right, well, we'll say the answer on next episode.
Yeah, in the next episode, you will find out who it was.
The-
If we remember.
I probably couldn't tell you one actor from 1934 to like 1947.
I don't think you could.
Wait, what's the? Is that, did they
It's
have,
so far going well. What's the is
did
always
they-
a
did
good
they-
start.
Did they have audio back then?
They did, yes.
Okay, then. No, he wasn't. What's that one actor? The one that was in all the silent films?
Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin.
Wow. I'm so impressed by your knowledge right now.
I think it's real good.
His granddaughter is in Game of Thrones.
Yes, she is.
Was it Ula? Ula was her name?
Oh yeah, Ula Chaplin.
Ula Chaplin. She played
Chaplin.
the king's wife, Rob, King of the North. Yeah,
Really?
you saw her butt.
Okay, well then I'm gonna give you this little bit of trivia then about Charlie Chaplin. What
didn't-
film got him kicked out of the United States?
Was it The Dictator?
There's a first title to that.
Oh.
The Hitler.
Well, yeah. That's the one, but it was called The Great Dictator.
Oh,
It was 1940. And it was because at the time J. Edgar Hoover really hated him because they had met at a Nazi party. True story. Not kidding. Right now. So back in the day, Nazis would go to everyone in Hollywood and be like, "Listen, you have Jews that are running your stuff. Obviously, you need to be joining us." A lot of them did. Charlie Chaplin one time was like, "No, never going to do it." J. Edgar Hoover and a few others were also there, and then they went to a dinner later that evening where he made a fool out of J. Edgar Hoover. So after that, Hoover continued to hold a file on Chaplin and was trying to find a way to get him deported. And obviously Chaplin had OCD issues, a bunch of other issues, brought out The Great Dictator because he was like, their issue. Obviously no one is addressing Hitler, so we need to address Hitler. And because everyone thought Chaplin was Jewish, they wanted to go after him for it. They said, "Oh, you are making fun of this, blah, blah, blah." And so Hoover was like, "There's my opportunity." Got him kicked out.
Interesting. Where'd he go?
Well, Sweden, I believe it was. Because he was actually had a summer home in Sweden. And he was there with his wife. And that's when they got the notice that you have to be at a hearing at the Capitol Hill by tomorrow, or you will be deported.
What?
They waited until he was there so that he couldn't make
Messed
it.
up. It's
Yeah.
messed up.
All right, so that's my thing.
Well, if he would have went, they would have heard him because he can't talk anyway. So
All right, we're ending this now before he says anything else. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for a very long episode of Director Review. And we will talk to you later. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
and YouTube.
which you can't actually search us. So I don't really know how you're going to do
working on
that.
it.
We're working on that.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much. Have a great whatever time of the day it is. And Celeste, thank you for being here.
I live here.
Trevor,
I don't live here.
I don't really care if you're here or not. Anyway,
Ew.
now, thank you for always being the light of my life.
I try.
I know. All right. See y'all later. Bye-bye.